Geekbox Forum's community podcast. This is episode 29 for the week of August 20th, 2012. I'm Dakazu from the forums, and who is with me this week?
Mr. X.
Seamus.
And Totoro.
Welcome back, Seamus.
Woohoo!
Back
I
by
have no weird
popular
food to
demand.
talk about.
You know, the episode you were on was kind of a big hit. I would say kind
Actually,
of.
I do have another weird food I tried out. That
Oh,
didn't
God,
work
no.
out.
What is it?
Do you know the way in like Mediterranean countries they use olive oil instead of butter? I tried that with a
yeah.
jam sandwich and it was horrible.
You put olive oil? What? That sounds like an awful idea. Why?
Because bouillon cubes on bread worked out. So you know, experimentation. You know, I'm not going to know good stuff unless I try random shit.
Well, what kind of jam was it? What flavor?
Strawberry jam, strawberry and apple jam actually.
So it was strawberry, apple, and olive oil.
Yep.
That sounds really gross.
It
That
was.
sounds absolutely disgusting.
Evidently, there's
Olive
a reason
oil has
for
like
that.
a very distinct taste, you know? It's not like butter or margarine, where it's just kind of,
I know that
you
now.
know. Yeah.
Next, you should try Crisco.
Seamus is all like, mistakes were made.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, we're never doing another taste test. I refuse. Especially one of yours.
What if it's something that actually sounds nice?
Like bangers and mash.
Like
Yeah,
a steak.
bangers and mash,
We
I'm
could
curious.
do a taste test for steak.
Depends on the
Like
steak.
What
steak.
would be the point? It's like, hey, let's all listen to the Eat Box Steak edition.
Yeah, we can all chew with our mouth open so that they can all hear us eating.
You know what I'm
Be great.
surprised didn't come up last week when we were talking about the sweet treats? I know that you have been a serious affinity for the Magnum ice cream bars.
Yes, they're very good.
They're really nice.
But yeah, that's ice cream. It doesn't really. I mean, I like them, but I'd say they're the best ice cream bar you can get, but it doesn't really compare to other stuff.
Well, last week's top three, in general, was like I think controversial. A lot of people disagreed with like.
Well, you guys all said Predator was better than Raiders of the Lost Ark,
I
which
don't even know
I
what
think
Predator was doing on that list.
is nuts.
Plus, I wouldn't put Raiders of the Last Ark on it either.
Stick around.
Yeah, well, let's get started. I think we're gonna start off with the TF2 update, the Man vs. Machine. We've all tried it.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I would say if you're trying to wait through the queues, like the actual going through the menus and queuing up and doing a party, don't do that.
Yeah, it's
Just
bad.
don't.
That's for suckers.
Well, like, yeah, the queue wait time is like, I think the first time I tried it was like 20 minutes, maybe longer.
The first time I tried it was 45. I was like, no, fuck this shit.
Well, I guess the best way to do it is just go through the server browser and find a game and join it that way, or just host your own game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenzo
But-
has figured out how to host his own game, and that worked out real well.
Yeah, you have to go into the console and do some things after you host the game to make it open to online players, though.
But
Look
the
it up,
mode
people.
itself is a lot of fun.
Just so people know that play on the TF2 server, it will not be updated for Man vs. Machine because it's only 6 players, and that is just not enough for everyone.
Well, that and, like, I think I was reading, like, their requirements are like a 32-player server.
Yeah, I
Which,
would have to
we-
upgrade the server, which would cost more.
Speaking of which, you should donate to the TF2 server.
Yes, you should.
So do you guys like the Man vs. Machine mode?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I only got to play it just the one time, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I didn't figure out till way too late I could like upgrade my own guy, and I was like, oh my god, I can give myself more health.
Yeah,
I
I was just focusing on the gun. I didn't even notice the other tabs in the store, so I could like give myself like resistance to stuff.
Well, you
What
were playing
resistance?
as a heavy, right?
Yes, I was killing things.
As engineers, like pretty much all you're gonna do is be upgrading your sentry.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool though. I mean, I like being able to increase the fire rate, increase the fire rate of the sentry, and then also increase the health of the sentry, increase the what's it called, the dispenser. You can increase the radius of that.
Have you guys played as a medic yet in that?
I think I did. Yeah, you can increase the amount of time that your Ubers last. You can increase the overheal, and you can increase the charge rate.
Can you make it so you can heal more than one person at once?
If you can, I didn't see it.
Because that seems like it would be useful.
In this mode, yeah, definitely, but I don't think I saw it there.
You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's Killing Floor," but I really don't see like why that is the game that people are comparing it to.
Because after each round, you go and you upgrade, just like Killing Floor. There's no other game where you go and really upgrade in between rounds like that.
I thought, like, what about Counter-Strike?
No, Counter-Strike, I guess kinda, but that's not really a co-op game.
Hmm.
And it's not like you're upgrading like effects and your armor and stuff. It's just you're getting a different gun.
Well, I guess the upgrade stuff, that part makes sense, but the actual gameplay itself is kind of very different, you know? Essentially, in Man vs. Machine, it's, what's the mode where you're pushing the cart?
Payload.
Yeah, it's payload. It's like reverse payload, you know? You're on defender side of a payload. The bots are like trying to push the bomb up to your base, but in Killing Floor, you're just trying to survive.
Actually, it's kind of like Dota. But with just one lane.
I was going to say it's kind of like Arx Must Die.
Or like tower defense without towers.
Yeah.
I think tower defense with towers is better, because in Dota, I think the main thing about Dota is you have to destroy the opponent's sentries, and it's that's still like a versus game, where this is like versus AI.
Yeah, it's just one lane. So yeah, I guess it's like a tower defense without the towers, except with the sentries. I guess there are towers that you can put up.
Well, yeah, sentries seem like the way to go until sentry busters come out. Those bastards.
Gotta find a way to even the playing field.
Can you have 6 NGs?
I'm sure you can if you want.
That would probably just end bad.
The problem with the engineer is that you're good for defense, but like you don't get points just for killing. You have to run and pick up the money that the enemies drop. So
Yes.
like someone needs to be there on the ground. Like actually, scout is very useful in this mode. You can just zip around and like grab everything.
I was grabbing a lot of the money as a heavy. It didn't seem to be too big of an issue since I was just mowing everything down as it was dropping.
Right. And then you had my dispenser by you to like you could run back and heal that.
Yeah, I get ammo.
But yeah, it's fun mode. It is a good job by Valve.
Yeah, you guys should all play it. Although, there is one controversial thing about it, I guess. That you have the tickets, yeah.
Oh, for the man.
Okay, so what is this? Because I've only played the free-to-play version.
You have to buy a ticket in order to get the rewards for playing the mode. You have to play on an official server, and to play on an official server, you have to buy a ticket for $1.
Are the queues shorter for that?
I would imagine so.
Because you're paying for it. How much are the tickets?
$1.
And you are guaranteed a reward for
I don't think so.
completing?
There's another ticket that you can buy for $2 that guarantees you and everyone in your party a reward.
But is
So you can buy the $1 version or the $2 version?
I'm not sure if the $2 version gets you into the game or if it's just for the reward.
You have to buy that on top of that?
I think maybe. I'm not positive.
Wait, are the tickets one use per game, or
Yeah.
you have it forever? Okay. Yeah, it seems a bit dodgy.
I don't know about this. I mean,
I guess you could practice at the free version, and then when you have your team and you guys get good and you can handle anything, then you pay, and then you get all the achievements and prizes and everything.
so if you die, like if you fail a wave, does it just like, do you not restart? Do you just like move on to the next
Don't know.
map? Because if
no
you only
idea.
get one shot at it, yeah. And also, I don't know, because you know how in TF2 like you can buy items and stuff if you want, but you can also just craft them or find them.
Yeah. Well,
I think that bounces out.
I'm not sure if you can find the new stuff for that mode.
Yeah, you have to pay for it, right? So I don't know about that because I don't really like. It's a virtual item, you know.
Well, and I'm pretty sure it's just cosmetic, and you hate hats.
There's no special weapons.
I don't think so.
Okay, if there's not special weapons, then I'm okay with it. Like you said, cosmetics are fine. That's like your personal preference, right? You would just want to customize your character. But once you start, doing, pay to win with, guns and like different types of things like that, that's where I kind of draw the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything new or what the new items are. I'm sure you
No
can
clue.
look it up, though.
Wiki.teamfortress.com probably.
Anything else about TF2, or should we move on?
They are
Play it.
premium robotic hats.
Hats are dumb.
Hats are great.
We should move on. Yeah, play it. We've been playing a lot of games. We can actually keep the game talk going for a while. Actually, you've been playing Darksiders,
Yep.
the new one.
Darksiders 2. It's really good if you like Darksiders. If you don't like Darksiders, you might not like it. Although, they added Prince of Persia to the formula, and the Prince of Persia stuff works really good.
So you're
But is it
actually doing
reverse
like
time?
Yeah, are you like rewinding time and stuff like that, or
No,
you
it's
just
like
mean the parkour?
Yeah, the parkour, like the wall running and jumping up to ledges and all that stuff.
It's
good.
Is this game just going to become like, let's rob everything good from every other game and make it one giant thing of greatness?
Probably. That's what they've been doing so far, and it's been working out for them. I mean, the Darksiders games are really good. But I did have an issue yesterday with Darksiders 2. I was playing, and then I got to this room where I just could not figure out what to do. There was this like wall that I was supposed to blow up with a bomb, and I blew it up, but there was no way to progress. And then I looked up what I was supposed to do, and it's after I blow up the wall at the bottom of the ramp that's right there, there's supposed to be a ball that I'm supposed to move into place, only the ball wasn't there. So I could not progress in the game, and I had to start over.
Like from the beginning of the game, or?
Yes, from the beginning of the game.
Like you checked the forums and everything, and like they said this is a bug.
Yeah, I'm not the only person that have this problem.
That sucks.
Yes.
And wait, was there like a previous save you could have loaded or something like that?
There's only one. Well, you select your save slot when you start the game, but when it auto saves and you can't select a different save slot.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
Well, and how long were you playing before this happened?
I think it was over 3 hours, maybe close to 4. But I imagine I'll be able to get back to that point really quick now that I know how to do all the puzzles and everything. Getting to that point.
Oh my god! What if it happens again?
That'll be bad.
That's one of those things. If it happens again, you're just gonna be like, "Fuck this game."
Yes,
This
if
is
it
why
happens
I
again.
don't buy PC games on launch.
And I've been hearing other people complain about it being a bad port because it's a console to PC port, and there's practically no options.
Is this only a problem on the PC side?
I'm not sure. I've heard on other podcasts they said that it locked up on them on 360, so I guess there's problems there too. But the frame rate and everything is just better on PC.
Except for freaking game-ending bugs, jeez.
I was playing today, and all of a sudden my computer just turned off. I don't know if it's my power supply or if the game like overtaxed my system somehow, like a memory leak or overheated my something.
Let me do my Kenzo impression. PC gaming.
Well, for all the shit that like Bethesda gets and Obsidian gets, whenever I've played any of their games, it's I'm not locked to like this save slot. I can just save as many times as you want.
And in those games, you can just say spawn item, and you can make the missing item appear. So that would. I imagine if I could no-clip, I'd probably find the ball stuck in a wall somewhere or something.
Back at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But the game is a lot bigger than Darksiders 1. I mean, like 20 minutes into the game, and you come across this big, giant open fields to run through with your horse, which you start with in this one. And then in between dungeons, there's massive areas you have to go through, but which could be annoying. But they added fast travel, so you don't have to go back through it if you don't want to. Has anyone here actually played Darksiders?
I played the demo.
No.
I played the first one, but I didn't get all that far.
It starts out kind of bad, but it gets really good once it opens up and you get more options with the combat and everything.
Is that the same case with Darksiders 2? Like it's a slow ramp up?
Kind of, but the combat is much improved in Darksiders 2. Just from the beginning of the game. It's a lot faster. But I highly recommend everyone play them.
Cool.
Dakazu, we played something. I think we were going for the same segue.
We were going for the same segue. Yeah, we both played Firefall.
Meh.
Yeah, it's beta, so...
actually, I'm not sure we're actually allowed to talk about it.
Are you serious?
Because it's in closed beta.
Oh, crap. Breaking NDA on this podcast? Oh my god.
This is the first.
It's in beta. There's not a lot there. I mean, we haven't played too much of it, but there wasn't a lot of like variety in what we were doing. It's just, I think we can say that.
Mind you, we only played for about 2 hours, maybe less.
It's gonna be pretty funny if the people listening are just hearing one long just beep right now because
now
you made talk about it.
Yeah, now you made me really self-conscious about this. Like, I was gonna talk a little about it, but yeah.
Damn the man. Save the empire.
Because it's closed beta, we had to get keys and everything.
This is
European
true, but we got
perspective.
the they were giving out keys for I forgot what the promotion was. You linked me to.
It was on Alienware, I think. Alienware Arena.
This
Okay, I
game's
guess
gonna be like free to play, though, isn't it?
the NDA on it, I guess, was lifted back in April, so we can talk about it.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Global Agenda, which I know not a lot of people have played, but just the look of the characters, like how they all have jetpack and they look kind of robotic armor flying around. What's different than Global Agenda is Global Agenda, you had like up to level 20, you were basically doing PvE content, player versus enemy. And then after that, it just kind of turns into like a PvP, like third-person shooter thing, where you just queue up and do arenas and battles and stuff like that for experience. And then the end game of that game, you could actually do like a map wars, where you would join a faction and then you would fight over different like areas on a large global map.
And this has PvP as well, but we didn't try that.
Also, this game is weird because I don't think we had levels X. We were just gaining experience.
And then we had to go to that garage to assign our points.
We used experience points to unlock the different like skills in our tech tree, which was one of them was unlocked an ability for me to I was playing bio something, whatever. I was the medic.
I think I was playing the assault guy. This is the guy with the gun.
Yeah, and I unlocked the ability to heal like in a radius in front of me, and also like I increased my fire rate with like one of my guns.
There wasn't. I mean, we couldn't find any real like custom ways to customize our characters though, like our weapons and stuff.
Also, character customization in general when you make your character is super limited. Could be just because it's beta as well, but
yeah, I'm guessing it's because it's beta. But we didn't find any gear.
Yeah, Star Watts has been playing this, and he said that you can pick up guns, but we never picked up any. And we found a vendor, but the vendor was either broken or we didn't have access to it yet.
Yeah, I found another vendor, and then it said this vendor doesn't exist when I clicked on him.
Great, awesome.
I'm guessing we just needed to finish our quest that we were on, our mission, and then maybe.
But that quest was so boring.
It was.
Basically, in this game, like you can choose third person or first person, but it's a lot of killing like these alien creatures,
bugs.
But they respawn almost infinitely, so it's hard to clear out an area. Maybe they'll tweak that. But when we played, like it seemed like they're coming constantly, and we would constantly run out of ammo and health.
Yeah.
And like when you go down, your teammate can get you up, but it's hard because
Yeah, if you get hit, it stops the progress and knocks you away, and then by the time you get back, they've respawned.
Yeah, they only have a couple seconds when you can get them up, and then usually you're surrounded. I think X and I were both like, why didn't we pick the class that has sentries?
Yes,
that was probably
really
the
useful.
best.
Since a lot of this game so far has just been defend this position.
Yeah, defend this position while we mine for an item.
Yeah, like a thumper will come down and start mining a mineral, and then
yeah,
you have to
that was kind of cool. Like, we had to mine for minerals, and first of all, they gave you this hammer item, so you would pound the ground in different areas, see if you could A, mine the area, and then B, it will tell you the composition of the minerals you could get.
You could kill things with that hammer too.
Oh yeah,
and then you walk without rhythm, so you don't attract the worm.
Yes, Dune.
So. Yeah, and then you can call down things, like kind of like orbital drops, and the orbital drop this thing that will like mine for you, but while it's mining, all the bugs try to destroy it. You just gotta defend it. But we had to do that like 4 times at least, and we still weren't finished.
Yeah, we had to collect 400 silicate,
which is the type of mineral, and it was just taking forever. I think each time we were lucky if we got 100 silicate, not even.
Yeah, I think we're getting around 60 each time.
Yeah, so do the math.
And then we died, and I said, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, just the problem was, like, at that point, we had been playing for a while, and there was still no real variety to the combat. Like, we're just using our guns. I had 2 guns available.
Well, I did get turned around and went the wrong way once without thinking I was going back to the city, and I came across guys that started shooting at me. So I assume there is some variety to it, since there's other guys.
Well, to the enemies,
fight.
But as far as like the combat abilities, Since we couldn't find a vendor, I locked the ability to use a submachine gun, but I couldn't find one.
Right.
And the only ability that I got was the healing wave. You know, how fun is that?
Not a lot. It was kind of useful, although it didn't really heal all that much.
Yeah, and there was a mission where we got mines, and I was like, hey, cool, we got something new. But then after the mission was done, they took them away. So, yeah. I guess both X and I. X is like meh. I'm kind of like eh. Do
you think we'll play more? Give it another shot?
Maybe like when it's finished. Is this a free-to-play one?
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should just finish our current quest. Maybe something will happen.
We're saying maybe because that quest is really boring. So, yeah, we'll see. But we might go back to it like once it's done as well. You know what? That just reminds me. When we were playing a beta together, we were playing what was that Diablo clone?
Path of Exile.
Is that out yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, when that comes out officially, we should probably go back and try that one as well.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, that was, a Diablo style game that was done very well. So, as opposed to this, which is just a third person. Well, technically you can change it to first person view, but it's just a shooter MMO with just like endless horde mode. It's the best way to describe it.
So far, yeah, but it might change. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys have any questions?
Or is there going to be a quiz or?
Yes, this is all on the final.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I still remember Firefall as that game that had like shit like plastered everywhere at PAX Prime last year. I mean, you talked about the thumper, and then it kind of clicked for me. It's like, oh right, they had this huge like 20-foot tall thing that they had out in front of the entrance to the expo area, or the expo hall, and like every hour on the hour, this thing had like a working thumper, and it would like. Well, not working, but
it would actually attract all sorts of alien bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, walk without rhythm.
Yeah, wasn't it like controversial at PAX because they were like, "What the hell?"
Because there was just like, so much of it.
Well, and it was like you would like walk in and there would be like I don't want to say serious exhibitors or vendors, right there within 10 feet. Not to say that any of them aren't serious, but I was standing there at like the Square Enix booth or the Square Enix area and looking at Deus Ex, and like I remember hearing this thing start going off, and it's like, what in the fuck is that thing? And then I realized, oh, it's that damn thing from out front. When the hell's that from? I don't remember.
Well, the game was first announced at PAX like 2 years ago, and it showed like the city in the game getting like attacked by ships and stuff, and you have to defend the city. But none of that was in what we played.
No, I mean, I would say considering how much like resources they spent on marketing that over at PAX, it's definitely like underwhelming. Underwhelming is the word I was using.
I don't think it was like shown at E3 or anything, just PAX.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much coverage of it at PAX. I mean, and just as far as like advertising, I would actually call it oversaturation. It was just, oh my god. I mean, because it was on they had that huge thing out front. There's this kind of area that you would like is kind of like a little bridging area between the two main expo halls, and they had a huge screen set up for it where they were showing whatever, and I think they had some other demo area shit there. If you went up the escalators like everyone has to do to get in, there was just shit all up and down the escalators. You went into the bathroom and you would go to wash your hands before you leave because you're not a disgusting human being, and you would stand up and see yourself, and you'd have like the armor around you, and it was just like all over the place. I mean, you could not go anywhere without running into some sort of advertising for Firefall.
So what you're saying is you hate the man.
I would rather have, if they were going to make something, I'm cool with, anyone making anything, but it's like, I know that had to cost them a ton of money, and I would have rather have seen them dump more money into the development, and hear you guys talk about something that you enjoy more than knowing the fact that they spammed all this advertisement out there, and it sounds like it's a subpar.
Well, I don't really want to
beta.
judge it too hard because
it
it's
is
still beta. I mean, and they make that very clear when you get it. They're saying this is still beta. There's still a bunch of placeholder animations and sounds and everything.
Yeah, but it's beta, not alpha,
Yeah.
You can still kind of get, like, a sense of feel for what it is, and unless, like, we are totally missing something with, like, the skill trees and the abilities, I think that's the problem. I want more access to, like, cool abilities that I can use. Whether it's on timers, like in an MMO, that would be really cool. Because in Global Agenda, you can do a lot of stuff like that.
So far, all the loot we've been getting has just been like crystals and rocks.
Yeah. There's one place and use the crystals to craft stuff. But when you craft it, it pulls out a menu when you go up to this kiosk, and then you click on what you want to craft and tells you, do you have enough materials? Like, yes, you do. So you click accept, and then there's like a minute timer. There's like there's a radio timer that like ticks down, and then when it ticks down, then you can get it from the station. But it's like, why did they do that? It's weird.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Well,
I think we should move on. Yeah. Seamus seems very interested in all this.
I haven't played it.
Have you heard of it, at least?
Heard of it, yeah, but I don't know. It sounds like Tribes, and I kind of dropped Tribes a month ago, so...
Well, it's not really like Tribes. I guess it's the best way to describe it would be like Tribes meets Borderlands.
Well, the look of it, maybe, but
yeah, and well, you're killing bugs just like Borderlands.
Bugs.
I'd rather be playing Borderlands.
I think everyone would.
Oh man, Borderlands 2 next month. Yay! Anyway, we can talk about something besides games, because we've been kind of rambling on about that for half an hour.
I started watching this new show. Well, it's not new. I guess it started in 2010. It's called Strike Back. It is a Cinemax original series.
Cinemax?
Yeah, I guess it's like their first one or something. I don't know.
Whenever I hear Cinemax, it just makes me hear, Skinemax.
I guess this is technically the third season that's about to start, but there's only 2 on Cinemax, and I said the series premiere. So I think this was a British show that got brought over to America, but it's still British, but they're just not showing the first season or something. I don't know. What, James?
There's the British first season, and there's a Cinemax first season. The DVD is literally season 1 Cinemax edition. It's really weird.
So then what's the first season?
It's just like the first season. I think it might be a different cast. I haven't actually watched it, but I remember hearing stuff about it like last year. But it's just weird stuff. Like there's just some weird change of like who ownership and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. It seemed like there was supposed to be all these characters we were supposed to know, like from the very first episode, but they weren't introduced. They were just there. So I guess that's because this is the second season, not the first. But it doesn't really matter. It's easy enough to follow. It's just an action series. But it has pretty good production values. I guess Seamus was saying that they film all over the world.
That's pretty cool.
So they actually go to like South Africa to film it. And,
filmed on location.
Yeah. So it looks really good.
Can you see the alien mothership in Johannesburg?
Yes, because that's real.
Wait, it's not.
Actually gone.
Oh, that's right. I did go away.
I did.
I has a sad now.
I just thought I would mention that, Joe, because I hadn't really heard of it before I discovered it, and it's pretty good.
Would you recommend other people try and pick it up, or?
Yeah, every episode is like a 2-parter. Just so if you just want to watch like an episode and get a feel for it, you really won't be able to. You have to watch 2.
Gotcha. So,
actually, there's an old.
Go ahead.
There was a British series from years ago that was like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like SAS guys going around the world like doing stuff. But I don't know what the name of those now.
Inspector Lewis. You're not gonna dignify that with a response. That's
Doctor
fine.
Who?
Downton Abbey.
I haven't watched Downton Abbey, and I don't plan on doing so.
Lost?
Fawlty
Are we
Towers.
just shouting names of shows?
Well, British shows.
Lost is still really good. Lost and Downton Abbey don't belong in the same sentence.
Hey, I like Downton Abbey. It's completely different, but it's...
Red Dwarf?
Speaking of Lost.
You don't know where you are?
No.
We gotta go back. We gotta go back on topic.
I actually, I met Kevin EP3, who has been on the podcast before.
Oh, you've met
yesterday.
him?
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of Lost, you both are in Hawaii, where Lost was filmed. I get it.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because I met up with Kevin because he's here on vacation, and he was recommended to go to this place called the Rainbow Diner, and it's like it's a place that is featured. It's in Lost, like the TV show, just for like a couple seconds.
Doesn't one of the cast members like own a restaurant?
Yeah, Daniel Cam loves the lunch counter or something.
He co-owns a burger joint called The Counter, which Kevin is gonna try to go to as well.
Oh, there's a place here called The Counter. He owns a part of a chain. He bought a chain franchise. That's weird.
Maybe
it's
just
like
for
a Burger King.
that store. I don't know. Well, it's a really fancy, delicious, Burger King.
Maybe it's completely unrelated to the place that's here.
Anyway, Kevin happened to eat there, and when we saw him for dinner last night with my wife, I was just like, hey, that place you went to, it's in Lost. And I found the episode on my phone. I think it's the first episode of season 5. And Hurley and God, I'm having a brain fart. Who's the Middle Eastern? Who's the Middle Eastern?
Saeed.
Yeah, Saeed. When Saeed busts Hurley out of the mental ward and they go to get food, you'll see it. It's his Rainbow Dine-In.
Well, okay.
On location.
Yeah.
Did you take my suggestion? And when you went to meet Kevin, you were wearing like flippers and a snorkel and goggles and stuff?
I did not. I also ignored Kenzo's request to slap Kevin in the ass.
And didn't someone suggest that Kevin was going to murder you?
Yes, that someone suggested it was going to be one of the two. I think Cross said I was going to get my he's going to wear my face or something like that. I don't know. None of that happened. It was a very pleasant experience.
Missing a kidney.
Wait, are we sure that you're not Kevin right now?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think Kevin just got good at doing a Dakazu impression, and he just assumed his life.
I would ask him to say something in Japanese, but Kevin may have learned Japanese.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh my god, you are Kevin.
Tell me, do you like fishing?
I love it.
Kevin.
Anyway. Oh, did you want to talk about Gamescom a little bit?
We can. I mean, I guess there's not really that much to talk about, but there were some new games announced, like Remember Me. That looks kind of cool.
No, that's the problem I was telling you before we started podcasting is I haven't seen any media coverage of this. And apparently there's something on IGN, but I don't look at IGN, so.
Well, I think there's stuff on every site but Giant Bomb.
Okay, that would be why, because Giant Bomb is the only gaming site that I still kind of go to on occasion, and if they didn't go, then yeah, I would be like, huh?
Well, there is a Remember Me thread on the forums. I guess you don't check the forums.
I've been really busy this week as well.
I'm just kind of amazed at how many people go to Gamescom.
Well, it's like the biggest gaming convention in the world.
It's bigger than E3 or Tokyo Gaming Show.
And PAX, like all of them combined.
There is a lot of people over here.
Apparently. I guess, well, there's probably more people that go to PAX every year combined that went this year.
No,
I mean,
they don't hit that.
I mean, you take every year that PAX has been and you add up all the attendees every year compared to this year at Gamescom.
No, PAX would be bigger overall. I mean, they're rocking about 70,000 people.
And there's 250,000 at Gamescom.
275.
That's a lot of people.
My god. There are fewer people in some countries.
Mm-hmm.
Seamus, did you go?
No, but a friend of mine went a couple of years ago, and he said it was kind of like, the thing about Gamescom is it's kind of like E3 when it used to be open to the public. I think it's like a 3-day event, and one of the 2 of the 3 days is you can just go around and just play all these random games, and a lot of people then just meet up, kind of like a PAX where you meet up with people through World of Warcraft and just go drinking.
Well, it looks like this is 5 days, and I wonder if that 275,000 figure is cumulative, like each day attendees, or if that's like 275,000 like different people.
I forget. Does E3 have public days now?
No.
Still not, huh? Well,
not
because
for like 10 years or something.
I thought they did. They had a year where they did have a public day.
It's been a long time.
I mean, it used to be really easy to get into E3, but I don't think it was ever actually supposed to be open to the public.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
looking at
trade show.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at this list on IGN about like the different announcements. There are a bunch of things that I don't even recognize. Like you're saying, Remember Me? What is this?
It's from Capcom. It's a new game. Comes out in like May next year. It's like cyberpunk parkour stuff.
Parkour.
Future.
It looks kind of cool.
I don't know. It's like your character got amnesia in the future. You can like rearrange people's memories and
it's
like one of the
Inception.
mechanics. Yeah, literally. I think at one stage she is also a memory thief, and I think part of the game is you manipulate like NPCs' memories to like figure out passwords or get them to change their behavior to like progress in the game.
Yeah, then she gets her memory stolen, and then that's where the game starts or something.
This sounds kind of like what was that? The game at E3 that people were like, "Oh my god, that looks so cool." Wasn't it by Ubisoft or something? The one where you're hacking into phones and
Not sleeping dog.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fuck, what was
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Watch
Or-
Dogs,
yeah, Watch Dogs.
Yeah. He watches the Watch Dogs, yeah.
The Watchmen.
Yeah, they actually say that. Remember Me, check out over 7 minutes of gameplay from the, quote, Watch Dogs of Gamescom. That's a quote from IGN. I'm seeing that now.
It looks pretty good.
I'll have
And
to
a
check it
bunch
out
of
later.
there was a bunch of new Dead or Alive 5 footage shown and new characters revealed.
I'm sure Ransu is all excited about that.
Brad Wong, he was finally
There was
shown.
new DayZ stuff.
Was there?
Yeah, DayZ is going to be a standalone product. It's probably for the best. I feel like DayZ is like kind of like the new Minecraft. It got super big, and even though it was still like in like the big, the very
think
early
still
stages
in
of
alpha.
development.
I think Counter-Strike is a better analogy.
I'm just
'Cause
saying for like the
it's a mod.
popularity and how it exploded.
Yeah, just like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike was super popular, and it started out as
Over
a
a
mod.
million players now.
Yeah, over 1 million for DayZ. That's really good.
And the average life has gone up 16 minutes in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, so you survived for 16 minutes now?
No, it used to be 49 minutes. Now it's up 65.
Oh, that's pretty good. Must be a
But I
lot
think a lot
of
of
people
that
running in
is-
packs.
A lot of that is if you start off in a place you don't want to start off, you just kill yourself and start again. Because I did that at least 5 or 6 times in one game.
Oh, so you've played? Because I've only seen footage of playing, and like it does not look like something I want to actually try.
Yeah, I played like mostly on my own. I played with a friend of mine. It's not a game that's like particularly fun. It's like you're like the whole time you just see a zombie and you're just tense as fuck, like crawling, and then he looks at you and you're like fuck, and you start running off into the woods. And when you're on your own, it's really hard to kill them. So you're just like trying to like. I think one game I literally died of starvation and blood loss because I kept on running into zombies and I didn't have a gun. So I just go into a town, happening over and over again. Eventually, just some guy just shot me in the head when I was looting a place trying to survive. But
kinda
other players
crazy.
in that game are bastards. I was like crawling out of one place and I'd you get like packs to give you more storage capacity. I had the second best pack in the game. Some guy came up behind me and hacked me to death with a hatchet.
Then did he steal your pack?
Well, I don't know why he killed me otherwise, but he probably did, fucker. But that game, it's
There was a comic on Penny Arcade not too long ago about DayZ. It seems pretty accurate from what I've heard about people playing it.
yeah, seeing other players is like the worst thing ever because you're like I was playing with a friend of mine and we were checking out there's this airfield. There's really good loot, but it's also where a lot of bandits will just like stay there to shoot you. And I saw a guy and we kind of like were like, okay, we'll avoid him, it'll be grand. And then like 15 minutes later I start getting shot at and both of us are killed. And he had a ghillie suit, which is like one of the rarest drops in the game. And this is his first playthrough and all, and he got it. And like it makes you really hard to see. And he was just like, fuck this game, I'm done with it, I'm never playing again.
Sounds fun?
I'm gonna say it's like, I guess maybe a game like Demon Souls. It's not really fun. It's like every time I start, it's just I'm like, all right, how long am I going to live today? Let's find out.
I know what
And
you're
if you want
talking
to-
about because souls are awesome.
If you wanted to, you could like survive really easily because you could just live out in the woods and just kill animals. But I just prefer to go, right, I'm going to go to all the places where I'm probably going to die. And if I don't die, then that's great. And if I do die, who cares? I can just start again.
Has anybody like formed like a safe zone where people don't have to worry about being robbed?
People have tried. The problem is all the servers, like every server is the same map. So there was actually a story about this group of lads, must have been 30 or 40 of them. They took over one of the towns and they like fortified it up and said, right, anybody, come on, try and kill us. We'll fucking take you down. And all people would do is they go into the town and then another server and then join that server. So they literally like teleported in behind them.
That's
and
dirty.
just shot them all.
Oh,
And
that's
it's also a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Or like people would set up camps with like barbed wire all around. Like people have set up refugee camps. I think it's where you like if you're a new player, they'll like help you out and give you stuff. And like they always have problems where players just like teleport into their camp in the middle of the night and take all their stuff. There's even a YouTube video a month ago. These guys had a tent and they hired 2 Chinese gold farmers to like guard the tent when they weren't playing. So the 2 guys just like walking around making sure that the tent didn't rob. Because if you find the tent, there's usually like good stuff in it. So you just rob all the stuff someone has collected and just run away.
Wasn't there a story of people like dragging people off, and so they
The
were
Cherno
just,
serial killer.
yeah.
There was this guy. Cherno is like one of the main places you start off in. He'd go up to new players and he'd be like, "Hey, I'll help you out," and then he'd start hacking them to death with a hatchet. And you can in this game, if you lose so much blood, you go into shock. So it's like you can't really move or anything. And then he'd bandage them up, so they still have so little blood they can't do anything. And he'd just drag them into a warehouse with all the other players he killed. And like a lot of these new players wouldn't realize, oh, I just hit respawn. So he just was kind of like filling up a warehouse filled with like nearly dead players just for the
That
fun
is
of it.
hilarious. He's like the serial killer inside this game.
Also like professional medics who will like go from server to server and be like, hey, if you need help, just tell me. There's another guy who's a war photographer. It's kind of like, you know, EVE Online, where like every couple of months like there's a crazy EVE Online story. This is like Stalker's the exact same. It's like all these just crazy stories of stuff that happens.
I heard another story of someone getting like kidnapped and forced into slave labor in the game.
I
What?
read that one as well.
They were kidnapped at gunpoint, and then they were forced to do all this work for the kidnappers.
Like what? Go into this, you know,
I don't know.
go into this like house or like, and you know, scavenge for stuff, or we'll kill you.
Lay down in the road so people think you're a dead body. I don't know.
And then they all got shot.
Why would you put up with that? Why don't you just? I was like, okay, I'll let you kill me.
Maybe they're role playing.
Yeah, your man just is kind of like, fuck it. He just said just do it just to see what happens, like, because sure he could just reload at any time, but where's the fun in that?
This reminds me of like the GFW or maybe it was one of yours where like Sean Elliott's talking about the role playing Grand Theft
San
Auto
Andreas server.
servers. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. It's kind of just, it is like Minecraft. Well, I mean, not like Minecraft. I guess it is kind of like a GTA server. You kind of like have to like make up your own stuff to do. Like once you have food and water and a weapon, you're kind of like, that's the in-games, and it's just a matter of doing whatever you want. Like my current plan now is I'm going to be a Buddhist in the game and preach non-violence and just go around to people with no weapons or guns and be like, look, this game is like a metaphor for Nirvana, so join me in a Buddhist preaching
That is
religion.
hilarious. These types of
'Cause, like-
stories are the best. Like my friend Cheese Bill, who I've mentioned before, like he's done like all sorts of crazy stuff in like games that allow for this kind of stuff. Like he would do crazy stuff in Ultima Online because I guess you could do similar stuff. Like one day he just decided he found a player and he was like, I'm gonna harass you for the rest of the night, and he decided to follow this guy around and like make fun of him and like pass out pamphlets. Like you could pass out written pamphlets, and it was like 10 reasons why so and so sucks. It's just passing out to everyone like around this player.
Yeah, this game is it's fun in a weird kind of. It's like, you know, you're gonna die, so I don't care if I die. Like first time I played it, I was really well kitted out, and I started up it the following day. The server like fucks up. I drop 50 feet in the air and die, and I was like, fuck it, who cares? Let's just do it again. You can't really get attached to like any of your equipment. Like your man, because he got the ghillie suit, which is I remember like meeting him, and it was the middle of the night, and I couldn't even see him till he like popped his head up. And I was just like, I just told him, if we go to this airfield, like, we're going to die, and you have to accept the fact that you're going to lose all your stuff. He was like, no, I'll be grand. And then we got shot, and I was like, and he was just like, no, fuck this game, I'm done. And I was like, you just don't understand the point of DayZ. Material possessions don't matter. It's about the spiritual experience.
I don't know. This does not. I don't know if it's my type of game. Then I tend
Well,
to
it
like games
could
where
be.
you can build up stuff.
Well,
I mean,
you
could
could
be.
build up stuff. You would just need to stash it someplace good. You couldn't carry everything around on you. And there'd
Is
still
it-
be a possibility of someone finding your stuff.
Is that like a persistent thing? You think, where you
Are
can
the
like
servers
stash?
persistent?
You can save stuff. Like if you get, like, I found a bicycle once. So I found a bicycle. It was like the greatest thing ever because I could outrun zombies. And literally, actually, there's the Idle Tums guys did like a stream there yesterday, and they found a bicycle within 5 minutes, and it was like ecstatic. Because when you find a bicycle, you can just run out, you can outrun zombies all you want. But then I went into a different server, so I didn't keep it. But as long as you stay in the same server and you save the actual, you kind of go up to the vehicle and say save vehicle, then you keep onto it. Like there's guys with like going around with helicopters, and it's like the scariest thing ever is when you hear a helicopter.
You can make a helicopter?
Yeah, I don't think you make it. You find it, right?
Yeah, you like there's vehicles in the game, but you always have to repair them. So you have to get like windshields and engine equipment and fuel tanks. And you have guys who just get like helicopters and they'll go along the beaches where like the new players spawn and just mow them down.
Just for the walls.
Just for the fun of it. And like I remember I was playing one game and I heard the helicopter and I thought it was actually going to land near me. And I was just like, oh fuck, Jesus Christ, I'm so fucked. Because if someone had a helicopter, they're probably like top level players with really good guns. So I was just like totally screwed. And then I got kicked out of the server. So I was like, okay, I survived.
Are there tanks? Could you get a tank to take out a helicopter?
No, there's buses, there's bicycles, there's cars, there's kind of pickup trucks and helicopters.
Awesome.
So I have a question. Like, if you have like is there any area in the game that has like stronger zombies or whatever, or is it just kind of like basically what zombies that you meet at the beginning? They're the same zombies you'll meet all over the island.
Yeah, the zombies are all the same. The zombies only spawn next to structures, whereas all the stuff is. And there's kind of like three types. There's like the guys who like stands, who are on 2 feet. Then there's the people who kind of hop around like monkeys. And then there's the crawler guys who are just like crawling along the ground. But if they see, like, they work, I think it's like line of sight. So if they see you, they just immediately start running for you. And the animation, I was reading like the animation, the guy who designed it isn't an animator. So he just really sped up the animation. So it just looks really fucked up. And like really kind of scary, and the sounds, and you kind of hear them, and you know they're behind you, and you're like, oh my god, are they like, is that their normal sounds, or is that they see me sounds? And then if you run when they don't see you, you're utterly fucked. So it's just this whole thing of like, okay, I'm not going to run till he hits me, I'm not going to run till he hits me, I'm not going to get scared, I'm just going to keep crawling, it'll be okay. And then you get into a supermarket and you find some food, and you're like, this is the greatest thing ever.
I think we should try this game.
You know, I'm still apprehensive because Arma is so expensive, still expensive in my taste.
It is pretty expensive.
That game is never going to go down in price now. It's still like 2 or 3 on Steam consistently.
Yeah, it was on sale during like the summer sale, but like I said during that episode, it still did not go down enough for me to think like I need to get this.
See, I bought Arma 2, like basic Arma 2, like months ago for like €2.50. This is before DayZ, so I only had to pick up the combined operations for like €5 or €6. And I was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to do this. But I don't know, I'd say, I was talking, your man, who's the guy, the designer, he said the standalone model would be kind of like StarCraft model, where the earlier you get in, the less you pay. So, I don't know, you could end up picking it up for like maybe €10 or €15 and you could get the full game.
Do they say when that's supposed to come out?
No. Right now, all I've heard is they're going to keep the mod and the actual game are going to be developed kind of simultaneously, and eventually, like, because Bohemian Interactive, the guys who are doing Arma 2, are working on him designing the actual standalone thing, and I know they're working on Arma 3 as well, which is supposed to come out next year. So I don't know, I'd say it'd be next year at the earliest before like it comes out.
It seems like DayZ is so much bigger than Arma, though. You'd think they'd just be focusing on DayZ.
I'd say I think they were surprised, like, because it kind of came out of nowhere. The other thing about like the guys Bohemian Interactive is Arma 2 is used by like military, actual like armies. Like your man who did the DayZ mod actually was part of the New Zealand army, and they use Arma 2, and like other armies use it because it's real. It's like really simmy. There was actually like crazy stuff online about guys who. There was one I saw. There was like you can have like 50-man servers, and one of the guys pretended to be like what's that thing, like a war reporter, like who's part of a unit.
Embedded.
Yeah, an embedded reporter. So like they were just pretending to be on this like mission to save these hostages, and he was with them like reporting on it.
Yeah, speaking of Gamescom news, the lead developer of Arma 2, well, the DayZ project lead, said that he has high hopes, really high hopes, that the game is going to be successful enough to justify a console version.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Although it would seem like it would have to be dumbed down, kind of.
When they released Operation, the guys who Interactive made the original Operation Flashpoint, and then Codemasters took that over. But I guess they could do it, like, you probably could run the game with a controller. Although the thing about the UI is just so, like, doing inventory and all is just terrible. So they'd have to, like, fix a lot of that stuff.
You know, I'm looking at, like, a lot of these releases from Gamescom, and some of these things are actually things I'm interested in.
See?
It's just funny because I only look at Giant Bomb most of the time, if that. Like this, the Unfinished Swan. That's a game
That was at.
it was featured way back.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. It was at GDC. That looks super cool.
Is there anything you thought was really interesting, X? Besides, what was it, Remember Me?
And Brad Wong and Dead or Alive 5. No, it was most of that. Well, I thought it was interesting that they announced that Red Dead is going to be the free game for PlayStation Plus, at least in Europe. I don't know about here. Red Dead Redemption. It was a pretty big game.
I still haven't played it.
I played like an hour of it.
You should. Although I never passed it because I lost my save file like 5 hours from the end.
I would blow.
So should we, like, wrap up or segue to the movie box?
Yeah, I think we should go take a quick break and we can change over some of the cast. And when we come back, we will talk about your movie box picks. Okay, so we will be right back.
One.
And we are back. I am still Dakazu, who has joined us.
Oh, that would be me, BobLoblaw.
And Darksiders 8.
Mr. X.
And still Totoro.
And we are back to talk about this week's movie box pick. X, why don't you take it away?
It's called Feast.
That's it? That's all you're saying?
It's a feast for your
There's
brain.
a lot of eating in it, so it's apt.
It's a monster movie about monsters wanting to eat people.
Feast
Come
on
on.
people.
There's so much to talk about this movie, just in its, like, how it was made. Like,
Well, we should get to
came
that
light.
later. We should talk about the movie itself to start with, I think.
Okay, I'll give a succinct review, at least from my perspective.
Are you going to tell us how long it is?
The fuck did I just watch?
Well, it was a movie.
It was kind of a crazy movie. It wasn't just any movie.
This movie is the first of a trilogy, and the ending of the trilogy is the craziest.
Yeah, but the movie in and of itself is just kind of crazy, kind of weird. It's kind of like Cabin in the Woods light in the sense that like it's kind of tongue in cheek, with like a lot of like the I guess tropes or whatever. But it's nowhere near as good as Cabin in the Woods.
I would
No,
say,
nowhere near.
like, Evil Dead, lots of horror comedy.
Over the top gore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I generally enjoyed the movie, but it seemed like a movie that like horror people would enjoy the most. People who like really like horror movies just because they're horror.
Yeah.
Because there's scenes of a lot of excessive gore, and I'm like, this scene is going on way too long. But
Well,
like
that's what
there's-
makes it acceptable is it goes over the top.
Yeah, it's like that scene with the puke.
yes, that's the scene I was thinking in my head. Because it wasn't just one freaking fire hose spray. It was like two.
And the guy that got puked on was in another movie box movie.
Yeah, American Splendor.
Yes,
What's his
Wow.
name?
Who was he?
Judah.
Judah Friedlander.
He's from 30 Rock.
he is.
Frank Rossitano.
But who was he in American Splendor? I don't recall. him.
He played Toby Radloff.
Oh,
He was
wow.
the
Nerd
main guy's
from
friend.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Holy cow, he's like the coolest guy in the movie.
Well, yeah, he's a good actor, and he's funny.
This feast, though, had one of my all-time favorite lines in any movie ever.
What is it?
That he's a male model?
Monster cock stuck in the door.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that and I was like, oh my god. And then I
What
saw
about the scene when the lady was tied up with the bomb and then she was thrown out?
And
then-
she was getting raped by the baby monster thing.
Oh god.
Yeah.
There's
And
an
then-
awful lot of face fucking going on in this movie.
There was also on the deer that was deer head on the wall.
That was getting
hot.
Face fucked, yeah.
By face fuck, do you mean literally like face fuck, or just people getting fucked
was
up in
literal.
the face as well?
No,
Literal.
he's
Literal.
Very
It's
literal.
literal.
No,
As literal as you can get.
I saw literal, but there's also a lot of scenes of people getting fucked up in the face.
Yeah, like Jason Mewes playing Jason Mewes, and then his face gets cut off.
So Jason Mewes is Jay, right? From Jay
Yeah.
and Bob. Okay, I wasn't sure because I don't know him too well.
I actually forgot he was in this movie.
The best thing about this movie is you can watch the first 5 minutes and know immediately if you like or dislike the movie. Just how the
Yeah,
intro
kind of.
Yeah, and the cards that would pop up for all the characters.
Yeah.
At first, I thought they were actually being accurate, especially when they mentioned the bartender is saying like 70 minutes into the movie he's gonna die like horrific death. But then clearly when like the first people died, like okay, it was just sort of like talking about the tropes or the cliches.
Well, that's my whole point. Is like they introduce the hero and just his immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that hero is actually originally they were talking to Marky Mark to play him.
That would have been awesome.
Mark Wahlberg.
No, I mean Marky Mark.
He will like stab you if you're around that guy and he and you call him Marky Mark. I think he's like apt to stab someone.
So he's gonna go to jail then someday
Probably.
for murder.
Well, I remember like there was this. They were talking about that one time on some show, and they referenced this. Like he went back to MTV once, and Eminem was there, and he was like, "Oh, we're just all like one big fun bunch here," and I'm like, and you could just see that Marky Mark was like starting to recoil a little bit, but
I think I saw that. I think that was on Total Request Live, which you just
that was on
admitted to
TRL.
watching.
Yeah.
I used to watch that.
You
show.
admitted a pretty in-depth knowledge there.
Well, I'm pretty sure Totoro watched it for the Backstreet Boys.
I was
I was
watching
more of an NSYNC guy myself.
I was watching during that era when I was like in 5th grade, 6th grade. Like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were always in number 1 or number 2.
Let's get back to the movie.
No, I want
Well, we're
to
still
talk
talking
about
about horror. I think it's valid.
Yes, that show
That would
was
be.
scary.
That was good. I just
Internet
want to talk
high-five
about
to
how this movie just kind of it's written well in the fact that like it keeps like introducing these characters and you think you know what's going to happen, but something else happens.
I like that they killed the kid because you would never expect them to just kill the kid like that.
Yeah, like things like that,
That's
or
gotta
like
be one of my favorite parts. Is just the sneaker being there.
Yeah,
the second heroine also getting killed off.
or the first heroine.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The second hero, the heroine.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting something to happen with that kid once I realized that the cards were inaccurate, and for him, they said his life expectancy was like a full wonderful life or something. Or like, okay, he's gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, but there was no reason to do it, and the fact they did it anyways is what made it good.
And then there was the one guy that was a jerk the whole movie that they said was going to die in like 5 minutes, and then he ended up living.
Oh,
A bozo?
Yeah.
They wouldn't kill a cripple, would they?
No, they wouldn't.
And they also didn't establish it very well that the cripple, like early on, because it was like halfway through the movie that they, and I don't mean to call them Hot Wheels, that Hot Wheels and Bozo were brothers. I mean,
Yeah.
they established that like halfway through, and it's like, you would think that would be something that you would want to bring up, like, at the outset.
Meh, details.
Well, now it's clear that his brother was helping him hustle. What's the name? Jason? Yeah.
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 I'm
So I
curious,
think we all-
Dakazu, as someone who isn't a big fan of horror films, how did you like the film overall?
I saw it. I've seen it before, mainly because I followed like all the drama, and I know we're gonna get into that over the film. But I actually liked the film when I saw it. But compared to like films like Evil Dead, I think the gore is kind of like excessive. But at the same time, they're being wacky with it, so it doesn't bug me. I know X was concerned I wouldn't like the movie because of the mouth fucking scene, but
Yeah, and the gore.
But I've seen it before, and it's like excessive, but it's all right. I still like the movie.
Next up, Hellraiser.
Oh, God. I don't know if I can stomach that. People without skin on tend to freak me the fuck out.
So you didn't like Jason Mewes then? How he went out.
No.
It's been a while since I have originally seen this, and it surprised me how many people survived.
What, 4?
Yeah.
Wait, 5. I take that back. 5 people.
No, I don't think Grandma made it, did she?
Well,
Grandma
she
doesn't make it.
Okay, so she's there, but she's there at the end of the movie.
And do you care if I give a mild spoiler for the next 2 movies?
I'm not going to watch them, so I don't.
The
particularly
bartender
care.
lives.
Yeah, I read that.
Bartender is alive.
So, Are we gonna move on from this movie and we're gonna talk about everything in the background along with the sequels?
Well, one other observation that I had about this movie was that I had an issue with the way that they shot some of the action, because sometimes it just seemed like stuff happened really quick, and it took you a good 3 or 4 or even 5 seconds or longer to figure out what in the hell was going on. It's you were talking about Jason Mewes' face getting ripped off, and I didn't get that until you actually just said it, because it just kind of jumps. They jump so quickly around it that it's kind of hard to tell, what exactly is going on.
Well, they had showed that thing was really fast. It ran past the lady's leg and then cut it off. And then Jason Mewes popped up and said, "Is it gone?" And then the thing flashed by and his face was gone.
I think with that, I understand what you're saying, but I think it works for the film too, because the less you see of the monster, it still makes it, creepy. If you see it in full light, just standing there, it's gonna look dumb, right? So a lot of the quick cuts actually make it seem more frantic.
Plus, it adds to the "did that just happen" effect, right?
Mhm.
When they killed the kid, it was just a bang, it was done.
I had that effect more towards the end when they actually showed the monster when he took off the fur he was wearing. The camera became, I don't know if there's a name, if there's a term for what the camera was doing, but it was kind of shaky cam, even though the camera wasn't shaking. Everything just looked more vivid. And actually, at that point, I was actually slightly confused what was going on. But yeah, what you said.
What'd you think of Henry Rollins in the pink sweatpants?
Actually, I like his character. He was really funny.
Yeah, Henry Rollins was good.
Yeah, I just like that. It seemed like he was some sort of office worker or something, and he was trying to apply
he was a
weird,
motivational speaker.
Yeah, exactly. Some sort of weird group management to this crazy fucked up situation.
This is a species confrontation or something, he said.
Yeah, we have to show them that we're scared and them or something like that. I mean, I knew it was gonna be a baby, but I didn't know they were gonna eat the baby though.
Of course they're gonna eat the baby.
And then fuck another one out in 2 seconds.
Yep.
Do you want me to talk about the sequels? Because I will, but because I don't think you guys will ever watch them.
Well, do you recommend watching them, really? Because I
recommend watching it for the ending of the third one.
I saw the
that's
sequels.
a YouTube clip.
I
It
saw
doesn't
both
really
of
have
them.
anything to do with the movies, right? Other than you already spoiled the fact the bartender lives.
Yes. Well, no, the characters are back, I think.
The second movie ends kind of on a cliffhanger, and it goes right into the third movie.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah.
I think the only character that returns, to be main person in the cast is Honey Pie. Was that her name? The bartender or the waitress girl.
Yeah, she escaped in a barrel.
She's the one who ran away.
Yeah, ran away on the
and
truck.
didn't wait for them.
Yeah, she's I guess the protagonist of the first movie or the second movie.
If you guys don't care, we could start spoiling plot details. Bob, I would say it's okay. I mean, it's probably not as good as the first one, because then it just kind of keeps doing more over the top things. Nothing really stands out except for the ending of the third movie.
Yeah, and that is the best ending.
I did enjoy the ending, but I didn't watch the two other than the ending.
I think we should just go for it. Spoilers for the second and the third movie.
See, should we just jump to the end of the whole trilogy?
There's two characters that aren't in part one, but I think one of them is related to the girl who got her leg cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl who gets face fucked, that actress plays almost the exact same character.
Oh, like a twin sister or something?
Yeah, so like that. It's called a different character. So
she's
that's how
queen.
That's how that character that actress comes back along with the bartender.
Yes.
And lots of things happen. Lots of crazy stuff.
The second one, they're on rooftops, and there's a topless girl through the whole movie.
Great.
There's a guy who ends up getting a pole stuck in his head.
Yeah. And he survives, so he's walking around with the pole in his head.
Another guy gets he gets fucked by the creature.
Yep. And I think he gets pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Then he turns into kind of a half monster.
Yep.
Anyway, basically how it ends is they meet new people. Some people live, some people die. Mostly they die in gruesome deaths. And at the very end, there's only 3 characters left.
Yeah, there's a kid, some character I think that was introduced in the third one or second one.
She was a girl.
Yep, and the bartender. And the bartender is like, we need to repopulate the planet.
It lists Judah Freelander in the second one. Did he really have another role as part of the cast?
I think that might have just been the flashbacks at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, so then bartender saying we need to repopulate, and he starts taking off his shirt, and then a big giant robot foot comes and crushes the girl.
Wait, what?
Yeah, really.
That's how it ends.
Yep, and then a mariachi band starts singing and playing music.
Yeah, a mariachi guy comes out, and in song he gives a synopsis of the whole series.
Yeah, giant robot.
Giant robot.
Which apparently was never
Referenced or
at all.
Yeah,
appeared in any other time.
The whole third movie took place in like a sewer.
A sewer cleaned by giant robots?
No reference, no mention of robots at all.
Not like
big
a
giant
robot
robots.
security force that patrols the sewer to make sure it's clean?
Nope.
Were they ever actively searching for the origin of these creatures? Or
No, they're just trying to get away.
Yeah,
In the
they're
third
trying to
movie,
live.
the people start getting infected, so now they're like have to run away from infected people. And there was a new character introduced in the third movie, and he got his arm like ripped off. And then the bartender tries to heal his wounds on his other arm and accidentally blows it off. So now he's like dual armless. That was really good.
Yep. I mean, it's like the same type of humor that's from the first one, but more over the top.
Yeah, same writing team, same director.
It's like if, on a scale of 1 to 10, if the over-the-topness of the first one is, like, let's say an 8, then the other ones are like 12 and then 15 on a scale of 1 to 10.
That's pretty over the top.
It's really over
That
the top.
seems like you're not sticking to the scale. Do you understand how scales work?
Well, it's on a scale of over the top.
Right. Of 1 to 10, which would be your range is between 1 and 10.
And then you go over the top of the range.
Shouldn't the top of that scale be like Stallone turning that baseball cap
backwards?
Backwards. And then
that
number
lower
one
lip
being
down
Prometheus.
all the way to the bottom of his chin.
No, then he has to reposition his hand and squeeze the thumb.
Yeah, squeezing the thumb really was key to going over the top.
There was.
That movie is balls.
He had to
That's my
arm
next pick.
wrestle
Let's stop
for
talking about it.
custody of his kid.
Quit spoiling. It's my next
Spoilers.
pick.
Oh man.
So I don't know if you guys watched the alternate ending to Feast, but I did.
No, sir.
Oh, tell us.
In the original or alternate ending, when the sun came up, it's the sun hurt all the monsters, and then they all ran away. After she, stuck her fist down its throat and killed one, then another one popped in the doorway, but the sun was out, and then the sun started hurting it and it ran away. That's why there was no monsters attacking them as they were leaving.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah,
that
they
makes-
didn't go with that.
Yeah, because that would have meant they were vampires.
Well, but that actually makes it tense when the
Did they
car
glitter?
stops.
I don't think
Twilight
there was
references.
any glitter.
Well, in the sunlight, that's what vampires do, right?
I think
Yes.
maybe they're daywalkers.
There's a billion people who probably think that's what vampires do. When
I'm pretty sure
they
there's
live in
not
sun.
a billion.
There are an
That's what we
infinity
do is cater
amount
to the
of
masses in
little
this
girls.
podcast.
Of
Well, there's a
little
billion that
12-year-old
listen to
girls.
this.
Yeah, we're fucking rock stars. Get off me.
Okay, I guess we should talk about the other interesting facts about this movie.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
curious.
Did you guys notice? Did you read the credits at all of like the executive producers?
Yeah, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Wes Craven, and some other person.
It's more than that. The Weinstein
Harvey
brothers.
Weinstein's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was a Project Greenlight movie.
Yeah.
Loofs.
And I was
What?
also watching the making of this, and they said the first Project Greenlight movie was a coming-of-age movie. The second one was a coming-of-age movie. So for this movie, anybody that looked like was coming of age, we ate.
Also, they wanted to. Those first two Project Greenlights were independent movies, and I think at the beginning of Project Greenlight 3, they said we want to make a movie that is commercially viable.
That did not work out for them.
No, it did not.
This is an independent horror movie.
And it killed Project Greenlight.
It had a budget of $3 million. And
Did you watch this Project Greenlight X?
I did not.
I watched the second one and the third one. I watched the one where they made Battle of Shaker Heights, and I watched this one.
So Totoro, you remember what happened with this Project Greenlight?
I remember it being the one thing that I remember about it being like a fucking train wreck.
Well,
that's the one thing that I remember.
It's like they had the script, right? Like they had an audition for the script. A bunch of people submitted scripts. They picked these two writer guys, and then now they had to pick a director. So they brought in 3 people, and based on like audition tapes, like they all had the same script for the audition, and they just had to shoot what their interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that they picked, John Gulager, he was the most socially awkward, like completely backwards, couldn't talk to anybody, like just totally introverted guy. And he was so bad when he was like doing his interview. He couldn't talk to anybody. But Matt Damon was like, I want that guy.
Yeah, I remember like there were obvious problems with him, but they were like just the audition, like the test reel that he did was just so much better than what anyone else had done. And if I recall correctly, like the takes that the 3 different directors, or however many different directors there were, it was so completely different.
Yeah, but it's
and
just
his
that
was gritty, and it was kind of cool.
I think they chose this Gulager guy also because they're like the Project Greenlight had moved over to Bravo.
Yeah,
Bravo, they're known for their reality TV show. So I think they were like, man, go with this guy. It's gonna make for great reality TV because this guy's a mess. He it was completely entertaining to watch this guy because he was completely messed up. They kept showing this footage of this director like in the bathtub crying with a shower on him, like no joke. They repeatedly showed this footage. He's like, I'm totally overwhelmed.
Well, this was his first movie.
Yeah, it was his first movie, and actually the biker chick is his wife. At the time, it was his girlfriend, and the bartender is his dad.
Yeah, his dad's actually a fairly, well, not a fairly, a very like well-respected actor.
He was in Return of the Living Dead.
Well, and he was in The Last Picture Show with Timothy Bottoms and Jeff Bridges, and what's her name? I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it was like nominated for Academy Awards. He's been in a bunch of different, well-regarded movies.
In the Project Greenlight, did they show the other directors' reels, like what they tried to their interpretation?
They did, and they were okay. But it was true that this guy's was very well done, and like
were they vastly
really
different?
interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
because that would be an interesting movie, right? Like film 3 different story or the same story with 3 different visions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been more interesting than what they did with Project Greenlight. If they would have actually made 3 different movies.
Yeah, but so the final result of what happened was they picked this Gulager guy, and he didn't know what to do. Plus, at the time when he won Project Greenlight, he was broke. He had used up all the money from his project, and while they're filming, he was talking about oh, I'm broke, I have no money, I have no food. So he's living off of the
craft services,
and stuff like that, and it was just a mess. He was I forgot who the assistant director was, but they were having all sorts of technical issues, and they were spending way too much time on shooting certain shots and things because this director, he wanted specific shots, but he couldn't talk to anybody to get what he wanted, and people were just getting pissed and annoyed at him. It was bad.
Yeah, the making of documentary I watched, he said that they said you cannot film these things for the movie, and then he went out and did it anyway on his own. Like the opening of the movie that showed the dead dog, he filmed that himself. It wasn't supposed to be in the movie, but it ended up being in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually just went out and found a dead dog and picked it up with a shovel and filmed it. I thought that was a little
with quotation marks.
I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, he is just this eccentric guy, and on Project Greenlight, it was really well documented and filmed. But it's not. He was eccentric, but he wasn't the only reason why the film was problems. he had some actor problems. Like one of the main actresses was being really diva-ish, and I think there was a problem with like the underwear. The wardrobe wasn't doing their job, and like the actress got sprayed with blood in one scene, so she went to go clean herself up, and then she changed out her underwear, and like everybody was like, she's in the wrong underwear. So this director had to go up to her and be like, are you wearing the wrong underwear? Like it was really awkward and really nervous, and she was like, what? No. And and then like the backstage interview, she's like, oh my god. But
was that the actress that played Honey Pie? Because she was the only one that was in her underwear in the movie.
It might have
she was
been
the one that got sprayed the most.
Yeah.
It might be. I can't remember. It's one of them.
There could have been one whale tailing.
Yeah, but that's... I mean, like, after everything that happened, the final episode of Project Greenlight was like, hey, we failed. We ran out of money and time. So look, we're just going to show what footage we have so we can kind of have a celebration. It was sad. It was bad.
But it ended up getting finished.
Yeah, how many years later, though? I mean, this Project Greenlight thing aired... Ah, man, I don't know. I gotta look it up.
I think it was in 05.
Yeah, this movie was 05.
Yeah, well, so they made it in but they made the TV show in 04 to air in 05.
Well, that's not bad. I mean,
so that's
Cabin in
not
the Woods
terrible.
was filmed in 2009.
Are you sure that Feast came out in 05?
And what about that Halloween movie that sat on the shelf for like 3 years? Trick or Treat.
Oh yeah, Trick or Treat is great. It's too bad you can't pick that again for Moviebox.
Who says we can't?
Well, it's already been picked once.
Yeah, we'll do with new rules. We'll just keep picking the same movies over and over.
What?
Big Trouble in Little China.
You wait for
I
Pretty
think
Story.
that was underappreciated, X. That it deserves a second chance.
I think
Okay.
you might be right.
People didn't like that movie? What the hell's wrong with everybody?
No, everybody
I don't
did.
know.
It's just I think people were complaining that everybody had already seen it.
Well, yeah.
It didn't go over well, X. It just sort of was mediocre, and it's a great movie. It wasn't done justice.
I believe Kenzo said it's the most racist movie ever made.
Wait, what are we talking about now? I'm sorry. I was
Big
looking
Trouble in
up
Little
this.
China.
Oh, that movie is so good.
Where were you on Moviebox when you watched it? That was an unvoiced opinion, or untyped, I guess.
Yeah, that was before the podcast, correct?
Yeah, that was before the podcast. So I think because I've been kind of meandering in and out of the whole thing.
You know,
A little bit before the past year or so.
The director, John Gulager, is that his name?
Gulager.
Gulager? That's a weird name.
Yep.
Yeah,
He was
I remember-
named Best Director for Feast at Fantastic Fest 2005.
So
It made its
for
way to
Dakazu
American
here.
theaters September 22nd, 2006.
right.
Did
well,
he direct the
and-
next two?
He did.
Yes.
Yes.
And he directed the sequel to Piranha 3D.
But Feast actually debuted at the Chicago International Film Festival on October 14th, 2005.
I'm amazed. Because I remember looking for it on DVD. So maybe it wasn't like made available on like DVD to watch for a long time then.
It came out on DVD in October 2006.
Okay.
But it might not have been a wide release. Could have been. I think it was kind of hard to find at first.
Man, I thought that was when I got it from Blockbuster, and that was right around 2006, back when they had their service.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, when they were trying to compete with Netflix.
What's a blockbuster?
Yeah, that
I
didn't
had
happen.
Blockbuster.
Yeah,
for a
back
while
in the
as well.
day, before
Didn't
most
call
of
it
you were
Total
born,
Access or All Access.
you
Something
actually
like
had to go and get your movies from a store.
You were watching Access Hollywood?
that. Yeah, and sometimes.
And then AC Slater was like, "Hey, I'm AC Slater," and then he sat in a chair backwards.
I don't know who these later is.
Did you talk about Preppy?
So
You know, Saved
movie...
by the Bell was a sci-fi show because Zach had superpowers. He could freeze time.
What's like narrate?
He would say time out and then freeze time, and then he would interact with people and make it so that he didn't get punched in the face.
That does sound like a superpower.
That is a
Oh my
superpower.
God.
What about Frankie Muniz? So like, does he freeze time when he's like talking to the camera and Malcolm in the Middle?
No, but he doesn't change anything, so he doesn't get punched in the face.
Yeah, he's just narrating with his inner monologue. in
No,
an
but like
outro.
he braces himself when he gets punched in the face.
Yeah, but he still gets punched in the face.
Some superpowers aren't as glamorous as others. Okay,
Where is the conversation going?
I don't know.
The next movie box pick is every episode of Saved by the Bell.
No, it's not your choice.
Malcolm in the Middle has the intro song has Bret Hart in the middle.
Malcolm in the Middle has Bryan Cranston, who was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess you guys should talk about the movie box pick now. Maybe.
Breaking Bad had dubstep.
Totoro, it's your movie box pick. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that movie. Is it any good?
I like that. I think I want to watch that.
Yeah, that sounds like a hot movie, man. Good pick.
Is that the true
What's the
story
runtime?
of the Macho Man Randy Savage?
Yeah. What's always ready?
No,
Holy
it
crap, that was
just-
like a good impression by Totoro.
I was actually thinking that was like a horrible impression.
That may have been your best. We'll have to save that one.
Okay.
I think you forget that your standard is like really low.
Really low.
Your standard
one-
is your
it's one step
impression of Darfox.
So,
yeah,
right?
it's like which is essentially
Or British.
just me. Yeah.
Or your
on Darfox.
Australian British.
So, yeah, let's remind me of all those bad ones.
What
You
is
can do
your
an
pick?
impression of X. Hi, I'm Mr. X.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
So do you have an
Okay.
actual pick?
Yes, I do have an actual pick. I was going to go with a Japanese movie, but I didn't want to go with one so soon after Dakazu had his Japanese pick, so I'm actually going to go with a different foreign
Over the
movie.
top. Over the top. Over the top.
It's Over the Top in Spanish.
Yes!
Why not lock up in Spanish?
No, it's seriously though, it's Diarios de Motocicleta, which is the motorcycle diaries, and I realized that I completely butchered that. And
Oh, is this the one with
Actually,
Ian
not really.
McGregor?
no, you're thinking of Long Way Round, which is a documentary series, which I really like, but this is Gael Garcia Bernal, and he plays a young doctor who
Doctor Who.
takes... No, yeah, exactly.
Plays the young Doctor Who.
He plays a young doctor, who happens to drive around or ride around South America on
In a TARDIS?
in a TARDIS motorcycle
No, I'm
with his
interested.
cousin.
This sounds
it's-
potential
Aren't
for
one
good.
of these?
Oh, let him
And
finish.
his-
Let
and
him
he
finish.
has-
Let's
his
let him
cousin
finish.
Is a companion?
Let's let
Does
him
he fix the
finish.
motorcycle with a screwdriver?
Stop. Let's let him finish.
At one point, yes. What were you gonna say, Dar?
Aren't one of these persons somebody historically important and famous?
Yes. Gael Garcia Bernal, the main character, it's a young Che Guevara, and basically throughout the movie you see kind of why he took some of the political stances that he took, some of the things that he saw, and it's based on a lot of journals that I can't remember if it's either him or his cousin, but they take a lot of the things that actually happened on this trip from the actual journal entries and the diary entries that they had.
Mhm.
So it is on Netflix instant streaming, so no worries there. But it's a good movie, and
Is it on Canadian Netflix instant streaming?
God, I hope so.
We'll have to ask our Canadian brethren, Rodney.
In case you didn't know who we were talking about.
I want to say something about the Netflix instant streaming because sometimes we'll decide our movies like much earlier than we record, and at the time when we check them, they're on Netflix instant streaming. But then when we come back and it's actually the week to watch them, they're gone. This happened with like The Road, so I want to apologize in case any of the movies you've tried to watch have like, after you listen to the podcast, like maybe I'll go watch this movie. It's like nope, it's no longer there.
The Feast is not on instant streaming, and it never was. I knew that going in.
Yeah.
I picked it because I'm a jerk.
You're a renegade.
Well, I thought it was a good pick.
You can watch a lot of the highlights on YouTube.
You can watch the movie on YouTube.
After this, you guys
It's
should
on
watch
Moviebox.
the ending for Feast 3 on YouTube.
They have Feast 2 and Feast 3, the whole thing in one.
Just watch the
video.
ending. Just the ending.
Just the ending.
Okay, I
Giant
will.
robots.
Oh my god. Let me wrap up.
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
No. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Thanks to everyone who was on, including special guest Tumble for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, please donate to the official Geekbox Mumble server, where we hang out and we talk and we record this podcast. If you'd like to participate in our podcast, you can jump into Mumble and talk to us, ask us, or you can PM us on the forums at forums.geekbox.net. PM me, Dakazu, or Mr. X, or Totoro. You can follow us on Twitter at alltalk podcast. or email us questions at podcast@alltalkpodcast.com. Don't forget to review us on iTunes. We need more reviews, please. And don't forget to listen to the other podcasts, including the Geekbox, Comic Conspiracy, the Comedy Bun Podcast, and Good Job Brain as well. That just about wraps it up. Thanks for listening. I love you.
I know.